The Green New Deal, right? Green New Deal. I encourage it. I think it's really something that they should promote. I should have saved the Pocahontas thing for another year. Because I've destroyed her political career, and now I won't get a chance to run against her, and I would have loved it.
President Trump mocking Democrats at CPAC yesterday in a warm-up for his re-election campaign. Let's bring in Democratic strategist Bishop Garrison, interim executive director, of the Truman Project, and Republican strategist Brian Darling, founder and president of Liberty Government Affairs. Okay, guys, we'll welcome you both, and good to see you as usual. Brian, what did you think of the president's tone there? I mean, did it give us a glimpse into his strategy, the tenor of how this campaign is going to go? Is it more about being against the Democrats than about really creating a new vision?
I think one thing, excuse me, it's if you look at CPAC and the history of CPAC, we've had presidents of the past like George W. Bush, who was reluctant to go to CPAC. You look back to the Reagan years, Reagan loved CPAC. I think President Trump loves being in that atmosphere. He walked in there, gave a 2-hour stem winder where he basically made fun of Democrats, talked about some of his policies, really got comfortable, really enjoyed himself. And it did show. That is a preview to what we're going to see going forward with the campaign. Him making fun of Democrats for being socialists, for supporting the Green New Deal, him making fun of individual candidates on the Democrat side. I think it was a glimpse. And if you just read the speech, you can see that is a roadmap that President Trump will use going into 2020.
Yeah. Bishop, have Democrats given the president an easy target with their push for things like the Green New Deal, like Medicare for all? I mean, are you worried at all that his use of the word socialist could really hurt Democrats, particularly with moderate voters?
Good morning, Alex. Not at all. Let's be honest. What we saw yesterday at CPAC was an absolute farce. It was juvenile. The president came out and desecrated a flag and then went on and rambled for over 2 hours, dropping expletive after expletive about ideas on everything from candidates to a ongoing federal investigation. What you're seeing from Democrats are actual policies or debates about what the future of the country should be and how we should go about shaping that. The Green New Deal is aspirational, and it is an absolutely phenomenal idea generally. There are still details to be worked out. No one's arguing that. But what Democrats are doing around that and their vision for health care and their vision for what a tax reform should actually be in education, these are ideas that people can debate and get behind and actually shape the future of the country. And it's not just rambling arguments from someone who's taken over our conservative
moderate ideas at all.
Brian, I got to play something, and this was quite shocking yesterday. Republican strategist Rick Tyler, he was talking about the president's speech at CPAC. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's not CPAC anymore. It hasn't been since 2016. It's now Trump PAC, and it should be TPAC, because the people there they talk about pro-tariffs, anti-justice, anti-law enforcement, anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim, pro-Russia, pro-autocrat. I mean, it's unrecognizable what Donald Trump has done to the party and what he's done to the conservative movement.
Does he have a point? I mean, you talked about CPAC being something that President Ronald Reagan went to, loved going, probably got a very, raucous applause as well as Donald Trump does. But, I mean, weren't these two completely different with not only their tenor and the way they approached their audience, but what they were saying?
Well, CPAC always reflects the Republicans in power. I mean, back in the Bush years, it was a pro-Bush gathering. During the Obama years, it was just Obama bashing the whole time. And now it's obviously Trump PAC. I mean, it's something where the Trump supporters were there in droves. I mean, that's just the nature of the way that CPAC is run. And you have Matt Schlapp running it, who's a very strong supporter of the president. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's okay to have the pro-Trump voices in there talking about his policies. And hey, look, the conservative movement is always going to be the conservative movement, and it may disagree at times with President Trump, may agree most of the time with President Trump, but I don't think the movement's changed, and I don't think the president has changed the conservative movement one bit.
Here's another headline I want to read for you, Bishop, and have you react. It's from The Hill, and coming out of CPAC, it says, CPAC attendees say Biden poses greatest threat to Trump. How do you interpret that?
Well, again, I think I can't say enough about CPAC being what we saw from the president being unbecoming of the presidency. And CPAC continues now from 2016, from what what traditional conservatives are actually saying is it's no longer CPAC, it's about Trumpism. I think Vice President Biden is a tremendous asset to the Democratic Party. I think he, along with what we've already seen from everyone from Kamala Harris to Secretary Castro to Elizabeth Warren, we have a fantastic field, and he would be another welcomed addition to that. I think he absolutely can take on the president because he knows what it actually means to be a leader for all and to actually be becoming of a position as such.
But he may be too moderate. He may be too moderate to actually win the nomination.
Too moderate in this situation. There's absolutely no such thing. Democrats want a strong leader. They want a strong voice for all. And yes, we are always going to debate and have discussion about what our policy means and what those values are and how they're best represented in policies. That's not a problem. We're not just going to
pushing for far left-wing ideas, socialist-light ideas like the Green New Deal,
and taking care of the environment. Are not socialist ideas.
Yes, they are.
Even conservatives want that.
You got to pay for them.
Even conservatives want to protect the environment, Brian. Come on.
They don't want a Green New Deal that's going to cost trillions. They don't want Medicare for all that's going to destroy
They didn't want
private
tax
health
reform
insurance.
that actually cost trillions
tuition
either.
For everybody.
We didn't want
they don't
tax
want free
reform
everything.
that's decimated the middle class either. But you guys push that.
You guys are kind of looking at what Bernie Sanders was talking about at the same time that CPAC was going on. And Brian, you've made your thoughts clear about that. What did you I want to ask you, Bishop, take away from Bernie Sanders' launch yesterday?
It's several things. One, I worry about what Senator Sanders actually brings to the table. More on a variety of issues, everything from what he really is going to do to support people of color to the types of issues that he's going to push further left.
He also introduced himself, which was new to this campaign, so we're going to be following that. Brian, Bishop, you guys, good to see you both. Thank you for the chat. I'll see you again soon. Meantime, Joe Biden